Hi, Gemini. Welcome back to Leigh's Intuitive Tarot. Of course, my name is Leigh, and today we're going to take a look at what's going on with you and your person. Okay? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to book a personal reading, there is an email address in the description box below. So let's go ahead and get started. The Gemini Spirit. Is it this one? Okay. Okay. The card that fell says, I'm going to get you another one because I want to give Spirit another chance to just drop you one too. Okay, it says, give yourself over completely to prayer. When you pray from your heart, you will be heard throughout the universe, and answers and support will arrive. So this is Spirit telling you that you are not alone. Okay, you have a whole spiritual team. I don't care what anybody says out there. You can believe what you want to believe, but me as a tarot card reader, I know I have a spiritual team, and I wouldn't be able to do a lot of the things that I'm able to do because of them, especially with the readings. A lot of the information, they help me with it in order to be able to help you. So you have a spiritual team, a whole spiritual team around you that consists of angels and spirit guides. You are not here alone, and so they are letting you know, even if you may feel, Gemini, like you're alone in the 3D, you have a whole team of people around you who love you and care for you. And Spirit is just telling you, all you have to do is pray and ask, and they will come and help you. Okay, they will help you in any way they can, but you have to give them permission, because they can't just meddle in your life unless it's something like that was in your chart before then. But usually, if you need help, all you got to do is ask, is what they're letting you know. Okay. All right. Let's move to tarot. This is for Gemini Spirit. What messages do you have in love for Gemini? Somebody's wanting a second chance. There's a lot of conflict going on, inner and outer conflict. I can feel the anxiety. May I have a card for Gemini, please, Spirit? Okay. Card for their person. Okay. Energy between them. Okay. And the outcome, please. I saw the 10 of Cups, so okay. Okay. I told you there's inner and outer conflict. Your overall energy is the 5 of Wands. So this is talking about, as I said, inner and outer conflict. There is something going on in this connection that I feel like is aggravating the both of you. That is like basically possibly turning your world upside down. If you look at these guys, they're blindfolded. There's some things that either you, your person, or both of you are in denial about, you're not wanting to see. And with this beehive here, these people are about to get stung badly if they bust this open, and that looks like what's about to happen. So it may have been a situation where you and your person have gone at it, argued about something, and it was a situation where both of you got stung. It wasn't just one person, it was both of you. And so I feel like you both may have gone back and forth together with this, and then internally separate of the connection, you've been going back and forth about this situation. Okay. Underneath this, we've got the King of Wands, fire sign, or someone with a lot of fire in their chart: Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. These placements may be in your chart, Gemini, or they could be in your person's chart, or you could just be exuding this type of energy. This is someone who is very protective. They're very good looking. They are the type of person that is all about independence. And so this may be a situation where, if you were independent, you may not be wanting to get into a connection, or you may not have wanted to in the past. This could be your person sitting in this energy as well. Okay. Somebody's got to apologize. There's an apology that may need to go one way or both ways with the Page of Cups. This is Pisces energy, but it could also be Scorpio or Cancer. So with this Page of Cups, For some of you, it could have possibly been a third party situation, because there are 3 people in this card, and the original Page of Cups doesn't look like this. It's a little young person that's holding a cup, a young page holding a cup that has a fish coming out of it. So with this situation, there may have been something going on. There could have been somebody that, you know, may not have even been of a romantic capacity on either side of this connection that was stirring up things. Okay? Because look at the guy. There's the cup of love here, and the person is drinking it. So I don't know exactly what's going on. I can't, you know, I'm not picking that up because it's a lot of you that I'm reading for, and it's a lot of different ways this could go. But somebody needs to apologize to someone else. Okay? It could be the both of you, because like I said, the both of you are having this inner and outer conflict with each other. Okay? Okay, someone is feeling like the wounded warrior with this 9 of Wands here. Okay, someone, one or the both of you may feel like giving up in this connection. You may be feeling trapped because the normal 9 of Wands, the wands are behind the guy in the Rider-Waite tarot. But in this deck, the person is surrounded by the wands, so they could be using them as protection. This could be just maybe things that have happened to you or to your person or to the both of you. And this could be your way of protecting yourself by hiding behind these, you know, I know they're not shields, they're wands, but shields is what's coming to mind here. Okay. And you know, this person is like ever vigilant. So it could be a situation where, you know, you've been battered and you've been bruised when it comes to love. And so you feel like you've got to stand up and protect yourself at whatever cost. But what you've got to realize is when you do that, you know, you could tend to push the other person away and vice versa. And then the connection will never have a chance to get off the ground. Okay. Somebody's gotta come to Jesus. Let me say it like that. I'm sorry. I got to cut on the air. I try to keep it all off because of the noise, but it's hot in here and I have to turn it on. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. So underneath this, I could go on all day long, but all these cards, spirit is calling my attention to these cards. Okay. Look at this, the 5 of Cups. Okay. Somebody's brokenhearted. I feel like this connection was a false start. Okay. I've read about this before. I did a love, lust, or loss reading that I'm going to put up this week, and it has a lot to do with this. And I feel like it's an extension of that reading. Okay. Excuse me. So with this 5 of Cups, there's been some type of breakup. I feel like there might have been a false start, or you may have been with this person for a while and things just didn't pan out the way you thought that they would. Okay. But there's a lot of obsession going on. And then there's the 8 of Swords there. Remember, I told you I felt like somebody is feeling stuck or feeling trapped, and somebody, one or the both of you, is feeling left out in the cold. Okay. I got to stop going through these cards because I'll end up going through the whole deck telling you your story. Okay. So let me start by clarifying this 5 of Wands, Gemini. Okay. Whew. It's a lot of passion in this connect. That's probably why I'm hot, because I'm sitting in this energy and I wasn't feeling like that until I started reading. There's a lot of passion in this connection, but there's also abandonment wounds. So I feel like there's something that happened between the two of you, and it triggered this situation for you. Okay. Because it says fears being left, over gifts to keep the masculine from leaving, codependent, and inability to trust. So this is what this is about, Gemini. You've got to get over these abandonment wounds. You've got to work with this energy, and, you know, do what you can to dissipate it, because it's standing in the way of you being in this connection with this person, because you got a lot of passion for this person. I can feel the energy. Like I said, I keep telling you I'm hot. I have the air on now and I'm still hot. It's because there is a lot of feeling, a lot of strong feelings between you and this person. Okay. Let me pull a card for them. 5 of Wands. So you may be going like back and forth with yourself about this situation, because You might feel like, you know, the other person is wrong. The other person might be feeling like you're wrong. And then the two of you are at a stalemate. Okay. Because that was one of the cards that was flying out before I picked up this deck to start to read. Okay. So with your person, we've got complete, loves unconditionally, unselfishly, with no limitations. Okay. This is what the both of you, the energy that the both of you need to strive for in order for this connection to come back together. Okay, you got to understand that in a relationship, things are going to go wrong. You know, people are doing the best that they can. And I'm not saying, you know, I'm not speaking of like an abusive situation or anything like that. But if it's, you know, a lot of times we get our wires crossed because we have misunderstandings with people. And especially if this is the very beginning, you're not in a place where you understand your person's motives. They may not always understand your motives. And then this is, you know, this is why the inner and outer conflict starts to happen. And then you go in your head and you start to talk, you know, start to think about things and overanalyze things. And then it just becomes a big mess, when what needs to happen is you and your person need to talk to each other. See, your person is in denial. It says self-protection by refusing to accept the truth. Okay. So they're using, this is them, and with the Nine of Wands here, using these things here. I told you, past things that have happened to them, to be in denial about how they feel about the situation. Okay. But what you got to remember is this connection still has a chance. Okay. Because 3 cups may be turned over here, but they look, the person is still holding 2 cups. They're holding them in this deck, because normally in the Rider-Waite Tarot, the cups are behind the person where they can't see. But the fact that you can see the cups and that you're holding them, you know that you have a chance. Okay, you and your person. I feel like one of those cups is your cup, and one of those other cups is your person's cup. Okay, all right. So when it comes to your energy, we've got the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, you're feeling independent. I feel like you feel bored with being independent and being by yourself. I feel like you may have built your empire, or you're in the process of doing that, but you're longing to be with your person. Okay, let's clarify. I feel like you met this person and they set you on fire. That's what I feel like, because I told you, I felt like I was burning up a few minutes ago, and I still feel like that sitting in this energy. See, so we've got burnout. Okay, you may be overdoing it when it comes to work, because the 9 of Pentacles can talk about work, but this is a love reading. So I feel like, you may be trying to do whatever it is you can to try to save this connection. And you could be at the point where you feel like giving up, because with the 9 of Wands too, that's what that talks about. Somebody on the verge of wanting to give up. But Spirit is telling you with this card, the fact that it's showing up, that you just need to keep going, because you're at the 9, and you have one more wand and you'll end up at the 10. Okay, which is the completion. Okay, all right. So when it comes to your person, Ace of Pentacles, your person is wanting to have a brand new start with you. So I don't know who did what to whom. I feel like, maybe it is your person that did something, because they're wanting to start all over. I feel like they want to apologize. I feel like this page of cups here is them wanting to start over. Okay, and wanting to apologize, but they may be feeling intimidated by you and not wanting to. They may be afraid, or just not comfortable enough, or maybe they're at a point where they don't know you enough to know if they approach you how you're going to respond. Okay, let's clarify. Okay, so we've got overload. So see, you're burnout, they're overloaded. I feel like you're both thinking the hell out of this. You're thinking the whole situation to death, when what needs to happen is somebody just needs to go talk to the other person. And what you've got to understand in a relationship, I said this earlier, somebody's gotta make the step, because you got to think about it like this, Gemini. Every day that you don't talk to each other, it's like it's going to get harder and harder for you to talk to your person. You could possibly grow apart, and it's going to be harder and harder for the two of you to come back together if this is what you really want. And I feel like this person is what you really want, because look at the longing. Look at the longing on this person's face. And I feel like this is representing you. And it's like you have all these things, but none of these things are fulfilling you. What's fulfilling you, or what's fulfilling to you, is this connection with this person. Okay. All right. Okay, so when it comes to the energy between the both of you, we got the Three of Wands, and I'm sorry. The reason why I'm that jumped out like that, I'm laughing. I'm not laughing at your situation, like the two of you being in separation. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing because you're both sitting and waiting for the other person to do something. And spirit is all around y'all, telling the both of you, okay, somebody needs to say something. There's only so much we can do. So spirit is trying to help you out in this reading, and spirit is trying to help you out on a day-to-day basis by, whispering in your ear, putting little, synchronicities into place to bring the two of you back together. But you got to help the universe out. You have to meet it halfway. Okay. All right, let's clarify. So we've got karma. It says paying off karmic debts owed from past lives and the present life. I feel like this is also a learning opportunity. There may be situations in your life where this has happened before. It doesn't have to be on a romantic capacity. You may have been in a situation with someone. It could have been a family member. It could have been a friend. It could have been something from the past where you may have felt like you weren't getting treated right. You were getting the short end of the stick, something like that, something like that. And because of that, you may have cut people off, stood your ground, and set your boundaries. Okay. But when you set your boundaries, you can still come back and try to repair things if you feel like that's what you need to do. But you still need to make sure that you're going to keep those boundaries in place and not just let things slide back into what they were before. Okay. All right. Let me get your person. Okay. So your person is trying to learn balance. They're feeling harmonious they're trying to learn how to feel harmonious within, due to both the masculine and feminine sides of their personalities being balanced. Okay, so that's what they're focusing on, trying to balance themselves out. And I feel like because they're overloaded and not letting this connection get them to an unhealthy point. Okay, because there's obsession, because we had the devil card here. There's a lot of passion because we got the passion card, and there's also a lot of obsession. So you're thinking, like I told you, and your person's thinking. That's why we got the burnout and the overload card. Okay. When it comes to the outcome, we have the Four of Swords. So this is like taking a break. It's like a prayer card. Remember, surrender to prayer. And I feel like this is needed on both sides, because you may not be making any efforts to fix things between each other, but that doesn't mean you're still not working on it mentally. You're trying to figure out mentally. Your person's trying to figure out, okay, how can I approach this person and try to fix this, or what can we do? And I feel like you're trying to do the same thing, but nobody's taking any action. And so because of that, that is why you're in the overload and the burnout situation. And, there needs to be some communication happening, because this is the swords, and the swords are about communication, some communication and some truth. Okay. All right, let's clarify. Okay, hang on. Okay, so divine feminine fell. So this is spirit telling you, step into your divine feminine energy, journey back to yourself, and figure out the best course of action. Because at the end of the day, yeah, see, I told you. Did I tell you a person feels trapped? See, look at there. So I'm going to say this, but at the end of the day, you have to do what you think is best. I feel like spirit is saying, like I said, somebody has to take the first step. I know you may not want it to be you, but look at yourself, Gemini. Look at how you're looking. Look at how you're longing for this person. It's like this squirrel is sitting in your hand and you're feeding it. Like I said, you have all this stuff. Look at the trees. It's like you have a lot of abundance. Look at the trees. Look at all the pentacles here, because all those pentagrams on the rocks represent pentacles. you got a fountain, you know, it's like you're living a life, but I feel like it doesn't mean anything to you. You're hollow inside because you don't have this person. So I feel like what, you know, Spirit is saying, look at the state of affairs, and this person wants to start over. So it's not a situation of where you don't know what's gonna happen. Spirit is telling you the person is open to the two of you reconciling, but I feel like they may not know how to approach the situation, or and then whoever it is that needs to apologize, just bite the damn bullet and apologize. Because let me tell you this, in a relationship, you know, it might be the other person's fault this time, but you keep going together and keep being together, you're gonna do some stuff where you're gonna have to apologize too. And you have to think about, if that was me, how would I want that person to treat me if I had done something wrong? Because just because somebody does something wrong, like I said, as long as it's not something like they're not abusing you or, you know, beating you up, doing all kind of things that are against the law. People are going to step wrong. They're going to make mistakes. You have miscommunications. You have times where you get your wires crossed. And so if you want this to move forward, it has every chance of moving forward because all the cards look very promising. But the both of you have got to get out of your heads, and you have to, somebody's got to come towards somebody. Somebody does. Because like I said, the both of you are thinking the hell out of it. You're thinking it to death, to the point to where you both feel overwhelmed. Okay? All right. Let me get some messages from your person before I let you go. Okay. Let's see what they want to tell you. I'm going to get my other cards. I'm going to pull a card from this deck, but I'm going to pull the other cards, these no communication cards. It says, your voice has a therapeutic effect on me. I could listen to you for hours. So this, you know, this person is missing you, Gemini. You know, it's not a thing where, you know, they may be upset with you or vice versa, or the both of you may be upset with each other, but they're missing you. This card is pretty much telling it. Okay, so now I'm going to get these. I didn't pull these for any other sign, but I'm going to do it for you. Whew. Give me a second. Hang on. Okay. Look, we got other people are interfering and trying to control me. So remember, I told you, didn't I show you the page of cups, and I told you that it could be a third person trying to interfere. That's what. So this is pretty much confirming, Spirit. Okay, let's try it again. See, I'm stumbling over my words and stuff. I feel like your person, they feel really nervous and intimidated by this situation. Okay, so other people were interfering and trying to control the situation, because you know people like to try to get into other people's, you know, relationships and things, because if they not happy, you know, misery loves company. Okay, look, I wish you would knock on my door. So this person is open to reconciliation. I feel like they're just afraid, and I feel like on some level you're afraid as well. Even if they're the person, your person is the one that did whatever caused the two of you to fall apart. It still takes two to tango. Okay, look, I fear you will never forgive me. See, this is what's going on. This person is afraid. They're overloaded, but they have feelings for you. They want a long-term, stable, and committed relationship with you. This is not somebody who is, you know, out in the street and they showing up as the Knight of Wands, in and out, not giving a fuck about the connection and trying to play you. This person has real, genuine feelings for you, and you have real, genuine feelings for them. Otherwise, you wouldn't be looking like this. Okay, so you have to decide, you know, what's the best course of action. But Spirit is letting you know that this person feels trapped. They don't know what to do. I feel like it's a situation where they may be like you, where, you know, you're the twins, and they may go back and forth in their mind. Well, if I do this, but then what if I do that? But what if I do this? And then it's caused a stalemate where they're just so worked up over the whole thing, they don't know what to do at all. So they don't do anything. Okay. All right. Well, I hope this helped. I hope the two of you are able to work it out, because I feel like this connection really has the capacity or the potential to go far. Okay, because it has a lot of passion, and like I said, I felt that passion. Woo! And I feel like the both of you could really be happy together, but you have to learn how to communicate. You both have to learn how to deal with conflict, because it's gonna show up, and you have to know how to navigate it to get through it, so you're not sitting and both of you are in this energy trying to figure out what to do. Okay. All right, Gemini, I hope this helped. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you'd like to book a personal reading, there's an email address in the description box below. Please have a good day and a good rest of your week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.